On the other hand, while participating in sports, we met Pannon, a young runner in training. As luck would have it, the two run into one another and unintentionally kiss. She is so upset that she accuses him of taking her first kiss, but then she smiles and collapses to the ground, believing that the hit healed her. The shocked professor observes her from a distance at home well scene of a kiss and believes that this may be the answer since she has a weird illness that makes her forget what she did that day. He then gives it a go both with her plush animal and with other individuals, but nothing functions. Then she makes the decision to find him. Arriving lightheaded, she gives him a short kiss and discovers it worked. Content, she offers to pay him to give her a kiss whenever she needs one. He chooses to accept as he would employ her in his research on people with amnesia. Their romance will only last for the experiment, and everything else must remain private. She moves in with the professor that very day. She watches him working out in the courtyard in the evening. She leaves to warn him not to do it since he won't be able to sleep. She tells him that she feels peaceful since he is by her side as she unexpectedly gives him a kiss. She falls onto the professor's bed when she wakes up around midnight from sleepwalking. The sight of her beside him terrifies him. She has a sudden dream in which she is fleeing, and he grins at her insane state. She assumes he's a stalker when she wakes up since she can't remember anything. But she calms down and apologizes after seeing a video that she took of herself. When she arrives, her closest friend brings her a bunch of flowers. The teacher observed this from a distance. The waiter offers them a complimentary voucher when he takes her out to supper since he believes they are a couple. The professor was observing them in the meantime, but when he saw the waiter coming with some balloons that made him envious, he pulled her outside. As part of the experiment, he excuses himself by taking her heart rate, but his companion interrupts. She finds out that her friend's sponsor, the professor, is a multimillionaire. The astonished boy inquires about their relationship. They inform him they have an experiment on athletes out of nervousness. He tells them he would like to join in, excited, but they both say no and hurry off. He uses the mushrooms the professor had for his experiments to make dinner at home. He notices after eating, but the mushrooms start to work. They both flee in quest of safety as they start to think they are in a forest and are being pursued by a monster. She appreciates him for not leaving her alone when it starts to rain, even though they were in the shower at the time. The doorbell rings at that very time, and he answers it. When he sees her like that, the delivery man assumes he is taking advantage of her and recognizes her. She then tells what transpired and begs the instructor to look after her before leaving. Upon arriving at the school, a well-known model seeks out the instructor and initiates flirtatious behavior with him. A journalist attempts to photograph them but is apprehended by the prota. She treats him like her spouse by giving him massages in an attempt to assist, which upsets the model. Before we go any further, I would like to ask that you subscribe to the channel if you are new to it, and more importantly, turn on the small bell so you may be notified whenever I publish a new video. Let's go on now. She vanishes the following day, and anxious, he searches for her. You find out that she's depressed since her physical problem got her expelled from the squad. To get her to be allowed to return, he speaks with the coach. The coach chooses to accept, and he will pay for all of the team's medical costs in return. The model then experiences vertigo during a scenario while her companion is filming an advertisement. When the prota enters to pose, it's revealed to be a trap, and a lad the model hired hurls a bottle at her. The teacher tries to kiss Mariana as she falls to the ground, but she stops him since there are too many people around. She gets everything ready for her training at night. She assures him she will be all right when he offers to go with her. She has vertigo when she climbs the peak the next day. He even goes so far as to kiss her before hurling the stranger away in an attempt to take advantage of her. They then make the decision to eat, and since they were hungry, they relish supper. She gives the two lads who are making fun of them their due, so much so that she needed to be stopped by the teacher. Then, when intoxicated, she admits to him that she likes him. However, just as they are ready to share a kiss, he breaks their engagement. She then nods off. She didn't recall what had happened in the morning. A little aloof, he gives her a short kiss and walks off. When her companion goes to see the professor, she asks him about his plans about the proton. He makes it clear that it's only a test. When he says the same thing after realizing she's been listening, his remarks shatter her heart. She tells him to stop the experiment when she gets home. She gets a headache out of nowhere. In another scene, the model finds out about the prota's issue, fixes her, takes her phone, and then locks her inside. Feeling distressed, she seeks assistance and recalls an incident that led to her memory loss issue. She is being looked after by her friend when she wakes up. She gives him credit for constantly supporting her. Outside, the professor observes her in good health. A few days later, she keeps up her instruction. Subsequently, her friend unexpectedly proposes to her. She is perplexed and unsure of what to do. She is surprised, and he advises her to consider it while he warms up. She begins to feel lightheaded. The teacher appears, makes advantage of her. She slaps him in response. He wishes her luck and then departs. She then recalls that he helped her after her injury, but his companion shows there to get his response. He regretfully accepts her decision after she apologizes and rejects him. She searches for the professor after winning the race and inquires about their mutual acquaintance as she has been feeling, for some reason, that she misses him. She becomes lightheaded and loses her memory once more as he decides to walk away from her. She discovers many recordings of the two of them together on her computer. She makes the decision to go find him outside. She interrupts him in the middle of teaching her class to inquire about his feelings for her and the reason they are unable to be together. He grabs her hand and invites her to accompany him. They wind up at a therapy facility. He presents her with his mother, who now thinks like a 16-year-old due to congenital amnesia. She knows nothing about him or his father. He also informs her that he will have the same issue and that this condition is inherited. They are unable to be together as a result. She assures him that she won't abandon him. He reveals that although there is a treatment for his condition because it was caused by an accident, he has given up hope for his own. Just then his father, who has never left his mother alone, arrives. He has been seeing her every day. After speaking with his father, they make the decision to give it a shot. She wakes up with no memory of anything, but he tells her everything over the course of a table as they both document their time together. Her buddy even congratulates her and wishes her well in their relationship. He discovers the model is the target of journalistic stalking one evening when they are eating supper. She attempts to assist her and nearly gets run over, but the professor intervenes to save her. She remembers everything as a result, but she passes out from shock. He admits to her in the hospital that he assisted her during her accident. The doctor tells them that because she was by his side, she was able to recall everything, and that's when they both bonded. They give each other a tender hug. They have a celebration with their pals that evening. Weary and drowsy, he brings her to bed while kissing her on the forehead. However, she stops him, and they stay up together the entire night. They commemorate their first anniversary with brunch. Then she discovers a ring while pressing his suit. He swiftly snatches it from her, assuring her he would do it then even though he was waiting for the evening. She stops him and walks away, excited. She wears a veil when she comes back. He then makes her a proposal, which she gladly accepts. They make the decision to celebrate at night. She puts on makeup and looks stunning. She has another really bad headache on the way, but he shows up to pick her up like nothing happened. He takes out her ring and makes another proposal to her while they are at the restaurant. She is aware of what is going on and is upset. When he asks her why she is wearing the ring after noticing it on her hand, she tells him what transpired that morning. The doctor then informs her that because her sickness is worsening quickly, she has to be treated to attempt to slow it down. They are really dejected when they go home. Next, he sees his father and pays a visit to his mother. He informs her that her mother was the subject of an experimental treatment attempt that was abandoned after 3 years. In addition, his mother was too old to take a chance. She encourages him to consider it as she wants to spend a lifetime with the Prota. He explains the circumstances, informing her that although he wants the therapy, he will fly alone and that she had to stay to fulfill her lifelong ambition of competing in the Olympics. In addition, there is a 50% chance that the therapy will succeed. If not, she will lose all memory of the event. However, if it succeeds, he vows to return and get her. Christian tells him she's waiting for him even though she doesn't want to let him go since she knows he's already made up his mind. After 3 years, he was still in practice. He arrives out of nowhere, leaping joyfully into her arms and planting a passionate kiss on her. This lovely tale came to a close when they were content to share and reflect on all of their moments spent together.